Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We are talking everything Club World Cup because that's what's on right now. That's what I'm watching, and that's what I'm digesting, and that's what I'm analyzing, and that's what I'm happy to discuss. Sorry there was no video yesterday. I got sidetracked, very busy with a couple of things. There should have been because, oh my God, the games the previous night were crazy. We're going to talk about all that. And guys, we're going to start to talk about the stage is starting to be set for the round of 16. Now, I'm not going to make any predictions, although I'll probably sneak in a couple things that I think are going to happen. We've got our first couple teams making it in. We've got our first couple matchups, so we'll start to look at those. It's going to be a good video. This one's going to be a bit longer, guys, because we've got so many different things to talk about. We've got 2 full days of football. We've got, I think, how many games we got to talk about? I think like 8. I think 8 matches we're going to talk about. 4 or 8. I got to go through and look, but a couple big talking points in this video. The order of the video, we're going to start off talking about some things that Jude Bellingham and Luis Enrique had to say about their experience so far. Then we're going to talk about kind of the games, and then at the end, we're going to kind of go through, give you guys some thoughts on the knockouts and stuff like that. Let me know how you guys are enjoying the tournament. We're kind of nearing the watch-along part, which is going to start on Saturday, Sunday. That's kind of when we get to the knockouts. So we do have a couple more days where kind of groups are going to be decided, but the groups for the next 2 days are less drama than the ones we just had. There was a lot more to work out in those ones. We've had some pretty surprising results, like Benfica beating Bayern Munich last night. Shout out to AA9 Skills. He's a huge Benfica fan. And just to remind you guys, we are posting these on Spotify as well. We have like 500 followers over there as well. So to you guys that have been watching over there, God bless you. Yeah, this video is definitely going to be a bit longer. So hopefully you guys are locked in and ready to go for this one. So we're going to start off with Jude Bellingham, who in the last match for Real Madrid had a very nice goal. And he went on many times actually in the post game and even when he was getting interviewed one-on-one and said that the pitches aren't great at all. It holds up, the ball barely bounces, and it's tough on the knees as well. Hopefully it's something that someone will look at going into the World Cup next year. And then Luis Enrique, guys, also said this after they beat the Sounders 2-0, and said they are way off the condition of the pitches in Europe a lot. It's fine, but the ball bounces like it's a rabbit today because it used to be artificial and now it's natural. They had to fix it. In the break, they had to treat it, but every 10 minutes it went dry. For our style of game, it's a problem. Obviously, I'm not using this as an excuse. I'm saying this today after we won, but it's a problem, Luis Enrique. And he was probably not too happy that his team had 80% possession and only beat Seattle Sounders 2-0. Guys, what's my reaction to these two statements? A player like Jude Bellingham, one of the more premier players in the world, and Luis Enrique, arguably probably the best manager in the world, I would say at the moment, kind of talking about the pitches in America. And what are my thoughts? Well, my thoughts are what they're saying is very accurate. I don't have a problem with it. The fact of the matter is, this is what they've been trying to do in this country. We just had the Copa America where if you guys managed to watch last year's Copa America final where you had Argentina and Colombia, we didn't even watch football. Now, Copa America doesn't have much football to begin with. A lot of the football is fouling, tactical. It's not as pretty as the European game. We talk about this all the time. However, man, I've never watched on television a pitch look so bad in my entire lifetime. All right. One part of the first half, the ball was skidding to other dimensions. Then the last 10 minutes, it just runs dry. So it seems like the games that are being played in America, I haven't noticed it as much in this tournament. I do notice on television the ball is bouncing a lot more, but the slipperiness that CONMEBOL had for those pitches, oh my God, like everyone was falling. It was such a messy game. So look, for being the country that brings in, I think it's the largest GDP. I don't know. Listen, in America, surely we got the money, man, to figure this out. I know these guys, Enrique and Jude, are saying this because obviously, number one, they want to limit injuries. And number two, yeah, we're hosting the World Cup next year, right? So this is going to be next year now. That will be the 3rd tournament in a row after Copa America, after the Club World Cup, then the World Cup that, hopefully they're going to look into a solution. Guys, most of the venues they're playing this at, though, these matches, all have turf fields. They're all stadiums built for NFL teams or are, MLS stadiums that very rarely do a lot of these MLS stadiums use real grass. I don't even know how many do, but turf and artificial turf is really common in America. So it seems like almost Enrique, is saying because the way the natural grass they're trying to do is just not working out. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this? I just feel like, are we going to solve this for the 2026 World Cup? I don't think so. This is now the 2nd tournament. I don't think this is going to be solved. I think it's going to be what it's going to be. And, I'm not going to sit here and say that Jude and Enrique are using excuses because both their teams won. But man, maybe we will see this make a difference in the knockouts in some of the closer games. I don't know, but I definitely agree with what they're saying, and hopefully the U.S. can sort this out. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. Let's break down some games, guys. Obviously, this group has probably arguably been the most entertaining group so far. As the group finishes, Palmeiras and Inter Miami go through, and Porto actually draws Al Ahly in a 4-4 thriller. If you watch this game, it was pretty crazy. Porto get grouped, Inter Miami get through, which, guys, I'll be honest, before this tournament, I did not expect that. Now, where did Inter Miami benefit from this tournament? It was, obviously in the U.S., and, I think that Inter Miami I think the MLS teams are more kind of like in that form of the season. But, guys, let me be honest, man. That was the surprise of the whole tournament so far. One of the major surprises that, for me, Inter Miami's getting out of the group. Now, I know what you may say. Is it rigged for Messi? What do I think about that? Guys, Inter Miami, for me, people are already speculating, are these guys going to make a knockout run? They have completely, shot themselves in the foot, okay? And I'm going to explain why. Instead of facing Botafogo, they're going to face PSG, all right? Inter Miami has a 0.00002% chance to beat PSG. The game Inter Miami played against Palmeiras, guys, and if you didn't watch it, I got to be honest, I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked. I've never seen Falcone and these defenders play the way they were playing. Ultimately, you could tell in the Inter Miami side, the quality of their midfielders is what really set them back. There's so many moments where Messi and Jordi Alba and Suarez, they might be older, but they still have that class and quality, and you never lose it. And these other Inter Miami players, not all of them have that class and quality, so it really hurts them. If you just watch Messi in these games, you will see he's trying not to get over dramatic, but he does get very upset a lot of times because he's playing these perfect passes to people, right? And it's a risk of a counter if they lose it. They're not even checking their shoulder. Their touch is bad. It's just crazy to see. So Inter Miami start off the scoring. They get one early. I think everyone's a bit surprised by that. And then in the second half, Luis Suarez, man, wow. Suarez had such a good finish, man. It was not even just the finish that was amazing. He took on like 2 or 3 players before, and it was vintage Suarez. And at 2-0, was this a GG? I was a little worried for Inter Miami because I knew that they were going to kind of invite the pressure a little bit more. Palmeiras gets 2 back. Both the goals are really nice. The first one was a nice diagonal pass, and the finish was beautiful. And, guys, honestly, what hurt Inter Miami here was that they had a chance where Messi played a ball out wide to Jordi Alba. This is about the 85th minute. He serves it to the back post, and, man, the Inter Miami player, I don't even know his name. Horrible first touch. Could have either shot it first time, taken a touch and shot it. It was just such a bad overall football play, and that could have been 3-1 if he just puts it on target. And then Palmeiras go back, and they score another nice goal to make it 2-2. Still, though, Inter Miami drawing Palmeiras surprised me a lot. Palmeiras seems to be a hard team to beat, as do all these Brazilian sides. So they're going to go through, and then Porto get grouped. So that's really, just to react to that group and that game. Inter Miami, I don't think they stand a freaking chance against PSG. That would be the shock result of the entire year, guys. If it happened like that, I would genuinely just be like, what am I watching? As for, we reacted to Atletico Madrid and PSG. As for the matches last night, this Benfica game, guys, this shows me the sadness that I have towards Leroy Sané, man. If any of you guys were watching this game, bro, I mean, if those chances that Leroy Sané had, if it was Olise, forget about it, bro. They're money. Olise's got that dog in him, bro. He's going to do it. Sané had 2 or 3 chances in this game where he could have given Bayern a goal. Benfica gets an early goal in this one. Bayern Munich, really, guys, for me, I know they lost this game. I think they are one of the strongest contenders to win this cup. We're going to talk about the side, though. There's a group of death in the almost knockouts where there's a side that's a lot harder to get out of than the others already. We're already seeing it, and we'll break that down for you guys at the end. But just talk a bit more about this game. Kimmich got a really nice finish, but unlucky to get it ruled off because Kane was in the path of the keeper. I never really like when those ones get called off, but Bayern Munich have chance after chance in this one. Chances from corners. Kane hits a header off his shoulder at the end. Olise is just picking out every pass, man. Olise, guys, for me, is 100% in the top 10 players in the world currently in terms of just overall football ability. I said it in the last Bayern Munich game, but getting to watch this guy play football is a pleasure, bro. He plays at a different speed, a different class, a different quality than all these other players, man. It's wild to see. And I got to say, regardless of what happens with this Club World Cup, what company's doing with this team, the players they're getting, I have to say, I'm really impressed with this Bayern Munich side, guys. I think they're going to be a real juggernaut going forward. A healthy Musiala, a Kane that's still going to give you goals for a few years. Olise is turning into he is one of the more premier attackers in the world. Kimmich seems to be entering the prime of his life right now. Kimmich, every game I'm watching from Kimmich, I'm shocked. I'm in awe. Eventually, you will get Davies back healthy. It's nice what they're doing. They probably need to make a couple more signings, but it's nice what Bayern Munich is doing, and I think they're a serious contender in the next couple of years to get back up there and play for that Champions League. I seriously think so. You know, the football I'm watching, the way that they can outpossess a team like Benfica with 73% possession. Benfica don't have many chances in this game. Now, they make it count with the one, and this was a bit of a surprise result. I definitely wasn't expecting this one where Benfica's going to top the group, and that's a nightmare for Flamengo, and that's why we're setting up a group of death or a knockout group that's just going to be brutal because Bayern Munich, with the way they went out in this tournament and played, for them to be getting a 2 seed or finish 2 in the group is wild. Now, I want to say something real quick. Boca Juniors, they were talking a little crazy. The manager was like, there shouldn't be a semi-pro team at this tournament. And they ended up drawing Auckland City, who had a minus goal differential. They conceded the only goal of the tournament, which was a nice corner that Auckland City scored. So, Boca Juniors, man, get your bags packed and get out of here, man. You guys talking crazy, man. Get them out of here. All right, they get grouped. So, do we have anything else to talk about in terms of yesterday's match day? Chelsea, guys. Let's talk about Chelsea. Let's talk about Flamengo. I actually watched this game a little bit, both of them on the side. Guys, LAFC did pretty well here. I mean, Flamengo knew they just really didn't have to get too much out of this. But, man, LAFC looked solid in this one. Flamengo scored a good goal. Bowenga had a nice finish under the goalkeeper, under the goalkeeper's legs. But, yeah, I mean, not too much reaction here. The one thing I will go back if we want to talk about Chelsea real quick, guys. I liked what I saw from Delap. I thought Delap looked pretty good last night. I know that, everybody's so weird online. Everybody wants to run right away to, hating on something. Like the finish he had where, the ball kind of just rolled past the keeper. It was a nice finish. Now, was the keeper of Esperance the best? No. Even the George goal that Chelsea scored, he probably should have saved it. He parried it into the back of the net. But, man, Delap, the movement you're seeing from him, the composure, it's those simple things where you see Delap, instead of rushing a decision, he, shot fakes, cuts inside, outside the foot touch. That's what you want to see if you're a Chelsea fan, because Chelsea, look, I'm not a hater of Jackson. I think Jackson can do you a service and do you a job and get you some goals. But Delap was showing you that he's got that kind of extra class, man. It just feels like he's going to have that extra control. And I'll say this as well in terms of the Chelsea lineup. Good to see Nkunku. I thought Nkunku put in a good performance. And for all the stick that Enzo gets, man, Enzo doing what he does out there, man. 8.5 men of the match for him, 2 assists for Chelsea. So Chelsea, look, that was a good game for Chelsea. Chelsea kind of needed to get a good win. I felt like they're getting Benfica in the opening knockouts, which, look, that's a very winnable game for Benfica. And this is where we're going to start to go talk about the knockouts a little bit, guys. So we're going to pull this up now. So this is the early stage of the knockouts. Now, we have some football today. But, guys, I'll tell you this, and we'll go through, but we're going to talk about this top right. I mean, PSG, this is crazy to me because PSG, Flamengo, and Bayern have been 3 of the best teams at this tournament, and they're all in the same side. So Bayern Munich really, I feel like Bayern Munich and PSG, Bayern Munich by getting that second spot, they've equally hurt both of those teams' chances because I think a PSG Bayern, if we see that matchup, it's going to be crazy, and either team can come out of that. From watching this entire tournament, if I were to say there's 2 teams that I'll expect to see in a final from what I've seen, it's Bayern Munich and PSG. I think they've been the most dominant. Yes, PSG have lost, and it's shown you that, yeah, on any given night, one of these Brazilian teams can beat one of those giants. I mean, we already know that. We don't got to say anything about that. But this is setting up for a real shot for one of these Brazilian teams, guys, to get to the final, especially with how it's set up. So, just a quick little preview. I'm not going to make predictions. PSG, Miami, I expect PSG to come out of that. I don't see a way. It would be shocking to me. Those guys are younger. They just won in Europe. They're at a different speed. They're going to just over the 90 destroy Miami, I think. And then Flamengo, Bayern, how do you analyze that game? Woo! It's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a tough game. Flamengo Bayern is really interesting. It's not who Bayern wants to see, let me tell you that much. I expect Bayern to come out of it, but don't be surprised if Flamengo does it. I don't think Bayern's odds to come out of that are any more than 70%, where I look at the PSG and I'm like, okay, they're 99%. And then the early ones where you've got Palmeiras and Botafogo. I mean, dude, we're probably going to be seeing for that one the best atmosphere of the tournament. I really believe that. I think we're going to see the best atmosphere we've seen in any game. It's going to be crazy. Two Brazilian sides matching in the round of 16 is mad. And then Benfica, Chelsea. I mean, look, two teams that, both in contention in Europe, maybe just outside those top giants in Europe. But Chelsea, I think, Chelsea, I would expect Chelsea to put up a good performance there. Benfica did really well to get a result, and Benfica will get up for this game. They will have the passion, but will they be able to compete? Will they be able to pull off a similar result? They will have a little bit more of the ball than they had against Bayern, but, that's my question mark. And do either of those teams, if we see a Palmeiras or Botafogo look really good in that first game, do either of those teams get out of, do Chelsea, Benfica beat either of those Brazilian teams? Guys, let me know your thoughts. So those are the first four matchups. We have four more to decide. And just looking at it real quick, guys, in terms of, the games over the next 2 days, by the time a lot of you hear this, you'll know what's going on with, Group E and F. Group F will be decided by 2 hours from now. We expect Fluminense. We expect Dortmund to get out of there. You never know. The Sundowns could put on some crazy show and knock out Fluminense today. I don't expect that, but it could happen. So when we take a look at Group E and Group F and we go to the knockouts, so 1E is going to play 2F and 1F is going to play 2E. So we are going to be seeing, and Monterrey is still in it as well. Monterrey, if they get a win tonight, they are definitely still in it. They will be, on 5 points. And, if this, so this group is really up in the air between these three teams. But we could be seeing some interesting matchups, man. Inter versus Fluminense could happen. It's too early to discuss there, but those two teams will be playing those two teams. And then we've got Juve, Man City, who are locks to come out of these groups. Real Madrid and Salzburg. Al Hilal are definitely still in it if they get a win against Pachuca today, but Pachuca's going to fight. They've not done well in this tournament. They're going to try their best in that one. Man, crazy that we could be seeing Real Madrid versus Man City. I mean, that could happen again. It feels like those two teams have literally played each other an illegal amount of times in the Champions League in the last couple of years. So that's already crazy. So that could most definitely happen. And for these teams, I think with Group G and Group H, considering it's going to be Real Madrid, Man City, Juve, at least those three teams we know are getting out. Those three teams are going to have a harder first round game than a harder second round game, unless one of them do, unfortunately, play against Inter Milan, is the way that I'm kind of seeing that. Because, and Fluminense as well. I'll respect Fluminense. I don't think Dortmund have looked great at this tournament. I think River have looked okay. I think they're going to be beatable. But, yeah, I mean, Fluminense and Inter, those are going to be those ones. But I think when we take a look at Juve, Juve or Man City, if either of them get a Real Madrid, it's just, man, it's like... It's a crazy first round, it's a crazy first round matchup. And we look at 1G, I would say Juve and Man City are really looking at this knockout stage for this game today. This Juve Man City game is going to be really important because when I take a look at the brackets, finishing first place in Group G is going to be better than finishing second because you're going to have PSG and Bayern and Flamengo over here on this side. Whereas, yes, no team is going to be easy. This tournament has taught us that. All the teams are getting up for it. All the teams are going hard. But I would much rather be on that left side than the right side. And, guys, these knockouts are going to hit quick. I'm recording this on the 25th. June 29th is when these start. June 28th, actually. So in 3 days, we'll see the knockouts. It's very exciting, man. Very exciting. Then we'll see the second round. Those knockouts go June 28th to the 30th. No, to the 1st. And then we'll start to get July 4th, July 5th, July 8th, 9th, and the 13th, guys, is when we'll get all the other action. And then, man, believe it or not, it's like a month away from the new season. It's like a month away from preseason, man. These poor players, bro. They're going to be so tired. I pray we're not going to see an excess of injuries next year. I pray, but I'm feeling like it's possible, man. These players are just... Because, the prize money, the pride of this tournament, and how seriously every team has been taking it, all these teams are going to get up and really try to go hard for these knockouts. Everyone wants to win. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Just breaking down a little bit of everything. I know we had to catch up a little bit. And thanks, guys. Peace.